Hey, what is up guys? So we're going to be doing our combo and test hand video today. Mostly a test hand video because I can't really show off the combos unless I have the perform ages, and since I don't have the perform ages I can't really do anything about it. So yeah, like I said in the deck profile video, I am going to be a little bit inexperienced with this since the new support actually does make the deck a bit more different in terms of how it plays out. But I will still try my best, and hopefully I can demonstrate what this deck can do. Alright, this deck is definitely very interesting in how it responds to you. Like I said, this deck is designed more so to be a turn 2 deck, so being that it is, right now we're doing a turn 1 test hand, it definitely does make things a bit weird. But what we can do is we could definitely go for the Foolish Burial, allowing us to get rid of our Hedgehog. And by getting rid of Hedgehog, you can add a Shaddoll monster from your deck to your hand. In this case, you might want to go for your Wendy in this here. Alright, so in this case here, we can activate the Super Poly. I really don't want to. Actually, in this situation, here's something you could see that's definitely going to be a little bit different. You could just set 2 and end your turn. You literally could just set 2 and that's it. You could just set the Cosmic, and you could also set the Super Poly, and that's really all you have to do here, because you're really going to be interacting on your opponent's turn. So let's actually just quickly demonstrate this. So let's say we pass turn and now it's our opponent's turn. So on our opponent's turn, we'll activate the Super Poly and we'll discard 1 card. In this case, we already have Cosmic Cyclone, so we just discard the Dragon. Mind you, when we discard the Shaddoll Dragon through Super Poly, its effect won't activate. So you'll only send the Wendy and Squamata, and this will allow you to go into your app clone. And then from there, obviously they can't respond to the Super Poly, so you'll get your app clone. Wendy and Squamata's effect will both activate. So in this case, Wendy will allow you to special summon out your Aerial. And of course, Squamata's effect will then allow you to send a Shaddoll card from your deck to your graveyard, which obviously we're sending off our Shaddoll. So once we send off the Shaddoll, you could see the different interactions we could go with here. But we do have the Shaddoll that we could also banish. So we could banish this together with the Wendy, or whatever Shaddoll you actually want. Doesn't really matter in this case. I'm just going for the Wendy because she could be more relevant in later turns. And we'll flip this up. And mind you, this is a trap card, so you can activate it whenever you need. So in this case, we are still in the opponent's turn. So this will activate, allowing you to actually add this back. So it's definitely quite nice here. But yeah, it really is not that, how should we say here? Well, we pretty much set this from that, but as you look, it doesn't look that intimidating, right? But obviously this deck can still do a lot more, mainly because of App Clone's effect. You want to go into App Clone when your opponent's doing something. So App Clone is meant to be a so-called response card. Yeah, potentially if your opponent was playing, I don't know, if they were playing something that had a particular effect, App Clone could definitely just negate it all. So definitely very nice. And since she can't be destroyed by battle as well, she definitely serves as a nice wall, as well as Aerial and the Wendy, which will also get an effect as well if she's flipped up. And don't forget the Cosmic Cyclone, which could stop different potential field spells such as Meltdown, or even the Old Skies cards as well. But yeah, this is, while it seems to be like not scary or not as frightening, it surprisingly does a lot to disrupt your opponent, so do bear that in mind. But this is definitely very nice, so let's try again. Alright, so the first test hand actually went pretty well, so let's try again. Okay, so 5 cards. This is not particularly the most ideal hand, but we can definitely do... Well, actually, no, this is a pretty good hand, to be honest. We are still going first, which kind of bothers me, but to begin, let's just go with the Shaddoll Fusion. You could go for Shaddoll Fusion if you want to. That could be an option. I mean, if we're going second, this card would be a lot better. That's why I emphasize that this deck is better going second. But you could activate Shaddoll Fusion, get rid of these 2 particular cards, allowing you to go into Construct. Mind you, this deck will be so much stronger once the Master Rules actually take into effect during April. But for now, we have our so on forth combos that we go with, so it's kind of unfortunate. Construct's effect and Squamata's effect both apply, so you could send a Shaddoll card. It doesn't matter which one you want to go for, whatever order you want. But we're going to send off Wendy, and we're also going to send off Shaddoll. Wendy will then obviously set the Shaddoll, the aerial. Sounded almost weird there. Yep, so shuffle this up. Okay, and yeah, as we can see from here, obviously not much else we can really do. We could banish off this, banish off the Wendy. This will allow us to flip up this, allow us to then set this, and then from there we also set the Shaddoll Fusion. And pass turn, let our opponents do their thing. We have Effect Failure to disrupt them, but we also have the option to go into an Shaddoll Fusion as well. Obviously using Construct and Aerial, allowing us to go into our App Cologne. App Cologne will disrupt our opponent. Construct will allow us to then add back the Squamata, well, add back the Shaddoll Fusion, and ready us for our next turn. Or you could even go into a Construct with the Veiler. Well, actually, you don't have to use the Veiler, you can just go Construct. Every single option here is available, so whatever's appropriate for you, whatever works for you, definitely quite nice here. But again, very great demonstration of the deck, that while it does not seem intimidating, these minor disruptions could definitely put your opponent off the grid here, and they ultimately won't be as effective in dealing with what you have. So yeah, let's give this another go. This time, let's actually try going second, because I feel like, you know, this deck doesn't really demonstrate much going first. I think we could do more going second to try and break a board. Alright, let's try again. I really hope there isn't glare. Okay, 6 cards in the hand, so we're going second this time, and in this scenario we have Ash Blossom, so most likely we will be stopping our opponent in some sort of way. Let's assume we used it up. As a result, we only have these cards to work with. We have Caught by the Grave to keep us protected, so it's definitely very nice. And most likely they're going to be using something against us, so we're just going to assume that we used it to negate them. Next we could then activate Super Poly, definitely very nice. What I do like about this whole interaction in this particular scenario is we could actually do way much more than what we think we could. So you can normal summon out the Squamata, enter the battle phase, attack into your opponent, assuming they have nothing, and then go into your Super Poly, discard Squamata, and then use your Shaddoll Beast and your Squamata, and together they will fusion summon, allowing you to go into your one and only Shaddoll Window. But going into Window, we have Squamata and Beast available, allowing us to do a few things here. So Squamata, let's see, what I'll do is I'll send Squamata to the graveyard. No, not Squamata. Squamata's effect will send off our Wendy to the graveyard. And Wendy will then allow us to special summon out their Aerial. And then from there, shuffle our deck. and Shaddoll Beast will allow us to draw a card. And we have a dragon, but obviously it doesn't really matter there. And then we continue our attack with Shaddoll Winder. Doesn't seem like it does as much as you might think. If your opponent did have a monster, you could use the Super Poly to potentially use their monster instead, which would ultimately result you in going into a potentially different Shaddoll monster as well. But that is one way to break the opponent's board, and I don't know how lucky I've been getting with drawing into the Super Polys, but it's been happening a lot. But yeah, it is one of the key cards to help break your opponent's board. Okay, let's try again. Gotta fix up the whole setup of the camera here.